I'm tired of these clusterfuck gimmick boss fights. When are they gonna give me something that's not a gimmick? I'm getting really irritated. Everything is just a clusterfuck of particle effects. I can't tell what's going on.
Got him!
Fucking bullshit hitbox.
Here we go! Back off! Back off! Back at you! Got him! Back off! Thank you! So long! Back off! There! Back at you! Take this! Over here!
Let me skip. Skip. Nice! Here we go! Try this! Very useful. Thanks for getting me this QTE. Incredibly useful. Walk around like goofballs. Did a whole lot of nothing. Thanks, game. And the guys disappeared.
Take this!
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't think my internet cut out. Look, there's...
Foolish! I think taste.
Heal!
What?
Water! Yeah, there!
Be gone!
Back at you!
I gotta go to that water park. Gonna be the water park soon. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you! Back off! Got him! Yeah! I know what to
Foolish!
Go get him!
Be gone!
Take this! Back off! Heal! Yeah!
Be gone!
Back off!
Foolish!
Take this! Over here! Try this! Back off! Got him!
Oh, I'm thrilled. Water time. I've watched a lot of speedruns of this game, by the way. That's why I'm like... One of the reasons why I'm not watching the cutscenes. I don't think I would watch them regardless, but... by no means a blind playthrough. I think these games are awesome speed games, just... not really something I would put time into getting good at. There's gonna be some kick-ass mods for this game, though, so I'm looking forward to that. I just didn't want to mess with the game too much before I beat it. I don't think my internet cut out. I think the YouTube's ingest server fucked up, which happens a lot. Either that or Restream's ingest server. I definitely had times where my internet's fine, but Restream's ingest server stops working. Since I'm using their ingest server, not YouTube's or Twitch's.
We performed admirably.
Fuck this water shit, man. Can I have one fight in this game without a gimmick? It's not fun when they take away, like, half your fucking mechanics. make you swim in water for, like, no discernible reason. Why is he in water? You take away, like, all your moves, pretty much. What is this, DMC1? I just want this part to upbeat the end so I can actually get the gameplay mechanics back. Why does everything have to be a fucking minigame? Have like platinum designers working on this or something? You can't even counter him anymore. They take that away from you. Why? Oh my god, this is frustrating. Let me use my counters and shit. I really like that mechanic, but they stopped letting you use it. Okay, when do I get out of fucking water level? This is shit. The nice of my counter still works. Fuck that, man. The hell was that shit? What was the point of that? No, we don't want you to have fun with a pure humanoid boss fight with no gimmicks.
Take this! Back off!
Gimmick.
Take this!
Now suddenly the game mechanics work again. Great design.
Sleep in the depths of darkness.
I'm kind of losing focus because of that stupid water shit. So that was completely dreadful and pointless.
Be gone! Come on! Pathetic!
Back off! Take this!
Be gone!
Back at you!
Come on, will you stop spamming that? Come on. Cutscenes.
So long!
I hate the interface in this game.
Back off!
Hard to like tell where things are.
Heal! Take this! Back off!
Play with the darkness. Sleep in the
What
depths
killed
of
me?
darkness.
Why was he not in hit stun? What the fuck was that? What's with the random hit stun? Bullshit. Just get walked through it. When I hit them, they should stagger, period. Getting really fucking annoying. Why is it sometimes I hit him, he staggers, and other times he doesn't? He hates shit like that. If I hit them with a melee hit, it should work every time. Which the game wants it to. Bullshit. Fuck you. The guard just doesn't work sometimes. When he puts me in a cutscene, I can't skip. Come on, man. I'm tired of the cutscenes. Just die. Getting irritated. Stop blocking the fucking attacks. Like that. I actually staggered that time. And just walked through it.
Back off! Over here! Here we go! It's over! Take this! Back at
Sleep in the depths of
I'm
darkness.
getting annoyed with this guy. He keeps disengaging lock-on. I can't tell where he is. And it's like such a pointlessly big arena. Can't you just fight this guy on solid ground?
Take this!
Like, tell what's going on.
Play with the darkness.
Why is this game such a clusterfuck? Like, just give me a blank room to fight this guy. Not this big, pointless area.
Be gone! Back off! Got
This is stupid. I know the next fight is exactly that. It's just gimmick stuff. This has been terrible so far. Come on.
Sleep in the depths of darkness.
Aggravating. I can't tell where he is. Every time I lock onto him, he goes to the other end. Skip the stupid cutscene.
Take this!
Or just don't stagger that time either. That's good. Just walk through it.
Play with the darkness.
Be gone. Push. Back at you. Back off.
Or just keep walking out of it. I love that. Stop doing this move. Come on. He's ever vulnerable.
Take this over here. Try this. Heal. Back at you. Take this. Back up.
What? Mid-counter. You can just put me in another cutscene.
Back at you.
Be gone!
Take this.
To darkness.
Back at you. Got him.
No, I don't want that.
Be gone! Pathetic. Your reward.
Stop doing that. Same fucking move.
You think you have won?
The fight is not bad. It's the arena that's bad. You can't tell where he is. And it's pointlessly big. It's like they know how to do spectacle, but like, it doesn't make any damn sense. Why was that area so big? Why was there a
Be gone! Be gone! Pathetic.
Back at you. Over here.
What?
Take this. Back at you. Back off. Back at you.
Be gone! See!
Take this.
Be gone! Please. Pathetic.
Heal.
I think not. What? What?
Extreme.
What?
There.
What? Be
Back
gone!
off.
Be gone!
Take this. Back off. Back off. Take this. Back off. Heal. Ready.
Be gone!
Go get him. Take this. Back off.
I don't know. Yes, I did. I don't know why you're backseating me when you're already in the game. A little late.
Back off!
I don't mind backseating, but I just didn't do any grinding. None of it carries over, so I can't see the point.
Try this!
Because these guys can't make like a good new game with us. That was my, well, I always had that problem with the first games, though. They give me all this like post-game stuff to grind for, and it carries over. So I wonder what the point of it is. I'm sure someone will make a mod for that. 'Cause I'm just playing this for fun. I'm not really making guides or anything. It's a pretty old game. My content creation standards. It's a cheap game. Anything older than like 2 weeks is a game.
Taste defeat. Begone, foolish, pathetic. Come
The problem is that I'm not very good at the game. Like, years of experience and stuff. I know you're trying to help, but the problem is I didn't grind and I'm not very good at Kingdom Hearts. Because I haven't really played it a lot. I don't really like most of them. I enjoyed the first two. I feel like everything else that's come out since then is not been very good. At least not something I've enjoyed.
Heal!
What's your fate? Accept it.
Another DM. It's nice of him to just do 2 of those in a row. Skip the cutscene.
Begone! Leave this! Begone! Back at you!
Pathetic.
Back off!
Begone, pathetic.
No, I don't. I've told you that like 5 trillion times. Obvious. Not a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I like okay games. Action, there's way better than that. I was interested in giving it a fair chance.
I think not.
Here we go!
I don't like a lot of the mechanics of the game, specifically the fuck ton of QTEs. Taking control away. The fact that like, playing melee is not very viable. That's a pretty common complaint with this game, though.
So long!
Enlighten me. Foolish. Pathetic. Kingdom Hearts. Foolish. Come on. Be gone. Come on. Foolish. Come on. Expire. Be gone. Come on. Be Judgment.
Take this! Back at you! Got him! Take this! Back off! Got him! Yeah! There! Take this! Back off!
pathetic. What?
Here we go! Later!
GG. GG.
It ends here and now.
My problem with the blocking is it's very hard for me to discern when I can attack them. That's my biggest problem right now. Oh. Sometimes I guard and attack them and they stagger, and then other times they don't. That's what feels really inconsistent. I like the guarding and attacking, it's just sometimes I can't. I know sometimes it fails. I've heard that actually does happen. This game's okay. Probably play it again when it has flags. Let me skip the cutscene before I get copyright struck. So I don't give a fuck about the story anyway. I'm gonna have like 10 hours of cutscenes. This game's alright. I've never really been a big Kingdom Hearts fan. It kept me occupied for a few days. I mean, I can't front it for that. I've never really been a big fan of these games. I think they're like average at best. Most of them are terrible. The vast majority of them are bad. The Osaka team ones. A lot of the humanoid boss fights felt really disjointed. The ones at the end, they had like 2 or 3 moves each. They were very one-dimensional. They weren't what I would consider a good human boss fight. There were a fuck ton of mini games too. I was getting really agitated with those. It's a decent game. I don't know if I would ever really put time into getting good at something like that. I think I'd rather just play the games I like a lot more. It was decent. I definitely overpaid for it. But the PC port was nice. Yeah, it's an alright game. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of mods. I mean, DMC5 is very much the same way. DMC5 on console, DMC5 on PC are like completely different games. They're like completely different in every facet. You have so many more options. A lot of the stupid stuff about 5 is fixed with mods. But I wanted to finish the game without mods. Just play it like a console player. The only thing I modified was having the remind moves in the base game, which is the way it should have been in the first place. That made the game a lot more enjoyable for me, but I didn't really do much else with it. I pretty much played the game as intended, which is what I like to do. I don't like to mess around with mods before I've played a game, you know, as the developers intended. That was the one thing I did to it. I didn't do any easy codes. I used like barely any links or summons or anything. Barely used any magic. That made it relatively challenging, but a lot of it just comes from me like not being very good at Kingdom Hearts because I don't have that much experience. I mean, I played the first one when it came out, and I played Vanilla too. I did not play the final mix versions of either. I beat them both once, and I beat Sephiroth in the second one, and that was about as far as I went. No, I'm not really a master at it, like some of the other stuff I play. It's an average game. I think it was okay. It's definitely better than all the handheld ones by a long shot. The combat is relatively responsive. I just feel like they have a bit of an identity crisis with all the fucking gimmicks. There's an excessive amount of gimmicks in that game, and a lot of it affects your readability too. Like, my problem with that Xehanort fight was the pointless gimmicks, the stupid stuff like, why am I fighting him in the water? Why do none of my game mechanics work in the water? That's what everybody hates about water in video games. Is they strip away most of the mechanics and it becomes slow, and you don't have a lot of control over the character. And then after he got out of that part, there was just that pointlessly big arena where the challenge was not his moveset. The moves are relatively easy to dodge. It was mostly just remembering to block instead of just mashing the button mindlessly, which is fine. That's the way it should be, but there's absolutely no reason for that arena to be as big as it was. I felt like what got me killed a lot there is him disengaging my lock-on and then appearing like behind me like a mile away, so I can't see what he's doing. I felt like stuff like that, they're really trying to like up the style of the game, the high fidelity of it and stuff, making it like stylish and visually impressive, but readability's sake, it was fucking awful. Like, there's no reason why it should just be a flat arena where you fight them. If you want the player to actually know what they're doing and not be encouraged to mash, then you should reinforce that by not having stupid gimmicks. Take out the water and take out that big pointless city you were fighting in. I felt like that definitely ruined that fight for me. Mechanically, it was pretty decent. There was a fair amount of gimmicks in there, but a lot of it felt like I was fighting against their inability to really make a decently readable boss fight. For a noob, I did pretty good. Yeah, I haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game in like 15 years, so it's not bad. Kind of just coasting off just general action game fundamentals. I attempted to play some of the Kingdom Hearts games. I attempted to play Birth by Sleep, and I thought that game was just positively dreadful. I don't understand why they handled Kingdom Hearts the way they did. It's like it's not even part of the problem is the accessibility. Yes, why are you putting all these games that are effectively direct sequels or midquels on handheld devices? Multiple of them, for one thing. And then why do you have these people that like can't design an action game in charge of them? Like with how poorly those games were designed and how poorly balanced they are. Uh, I don't see why they didn't just get someone more experienced to do it. I've actually watched a lot of videos on this topic too, and a lot of people agree that like the games between 2 and 3, they had like no idea how to design an action game, and that's like part of the problem right there. Because if your game is attractive, it's nice to look at, and it has appealing characters and stuff, but it has shit action combat. What does that encourage people to do? It encourages them to watch the cutscenes. You need to produce something that's better balanced. The problem with Kingdom Hearts 3 is it's terribly balanced. The only reason I had any semblance of challenge was because I've watched lots and lots of high level gameplay on Kingdom Hearts 3. Uh, there's so many ways to break the game, and all of it just involves around spamming magic. I had a lot more fun not spamming magic. That gave the game some semblance of challenge, but there's no hiding that the balance of Kingdom Hearts 3 is a fucking mess. It doesn't make sense that like actually dodging and countering the attacks like I did does like way less damage than just spamming magic or links that make you invincible and do like half their health. The balancing is dreadful in that game. Apparently they came out and said it's like, oh, we wanted our kids to be able to finish it. It's like, well, kids aren't stupid for one, and just because you want your game to be accessible doesn't mean that it needs to be poorly balanced. You can make a game that's very well balanced but still accessible for people. There's plenty of ways to do that, and Kingdom Hearts 3 already provides that to begin with. They give you those like cheat codes. I said it's incredibly unbalanced. It's imbalanced. Poorly balanced. It's a very easy game to break. You just go full magic and just spam the links and stuff and the shot locks and everything dies. My issue with it was when you try to play the game more honest like I was with a strength build and like barely using any of those mechanics so that the game is more authentic. I feel like guard fails were a thing, and I thought that was just me being bad at the game. I'm sure the vast majority of it was, but people have actually said that sometimes you guard in that game and you get hit anyway. I'm sure the majority of the times I missed my guard was just from me like not really being experienced with the game and not playing it before, but that is a valid complaint that people have mentioned. I think it bodes well for the next one. Whatever they do next, hopefully they'll strike a better balance. Make it so that like all methods of play are viable and not just spamming QTEs and magic and shot locks. I feel like that was their way to just make the game accessible. It's like, well, you should make like better overall boss fights and make sure that every playstyle is viable. Playing strength is way more fun in that game, but you're making things harder on yourself. Which is fine, I knew that going into it. I've watched the speedruns, they kill the bosses before they can even move. Most of them. I'm well aware of how that game works at a high level, and it's not really something that I'm particularly interested in. It was a decent game. I mean, I got my money's worth out of it. I might play it again, maybe when there's mods or something. Right now, mods are pretty limited. They're still porting a lot of stuff over. There's been some decent gameplay mods already, though, so that's why I'm not sure if I'm going to go right back into it. I might do some of the grinding. Yeah, the block does not feel responsive. It doesn't feel like Royal Guard. I think Royal Guard is like the best example of having a defensive mechanic where it's like it's a very powerful mechanic, but you're putting yourself at risk by doing it. But it's actually responsive and reliable enough that if you are good, you can go through the game without getting hit once, and you can parry everything. And that's incredibly satisfying. I feel like the Kingdom Hearts 3 guard mechanic doesn't even get close to that. It doesn't always feel like getting hit out of a block is my fault, which is not the kind of thing you want. But I feel like they tried to... Game just has mechanic bloat, is what I would like to call it. It has too many mechanics, and a lot of the honest ones, like actually trying to get a melee hit and blocking and countering and stuff, they don't feel as good as just all the broken stuff. Feels a little disjointed. Anyway, well, that was all I had planned for now. I've got to go over to my kitty sitting job in like 20 minutes. So I think I'm going to load up some games, and we're going to do some Boomer games. I played my Zoomer game for the month, which is Kingdom Hearts 3. Now I'm going to go back and play some Boomer games. So I'm going to install those, and I'll head over. I'll be on, I don't know, probably around 7:30. I want to grab a snack and see if my neighbor needs anything done first, and then after that, I'll be back on. In terms of what else I do with the game, I might just wait for mods, honestly. I'll probably go through the DLC. Probably not tonight, as I played a lot today. I don't know, maybe tomorrow or something. Kingdom Hearts is a mess after 2. They got a different team to start making them. Yeah, it's called the Osaka Syndrome, I think is what they call it. Those guys have like no idea how to make an action game. And that's a shame, really. But then I hear the DLC bosses in 3 are like complete 180 in terms of like overall design. How they're like mechanically good and stuff. So I'm definitely interested in checking those out. A lot of people were very skeptical that they could deliver like 13 humanoid boss fights that actually work and aren't bad, but apparently they did just that. So I may or may not do those. I'm not good enough at the game to like really do anything, big dick EP-ness with it. But I would like to try those at some point, so maybe later this week. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching.